Morning and welcome to Raymies Garage. Today's job is working on this 2016 Range Rover Sport 3 litre. This belongs to apprentice Paul's wife, Corinnie. The problem we have is that the rear light, or the brake light, this brake light here, doesn't work. And we've replaced that, but apparently it's some kind of a problem with the wiring loom. So the plan is to take this spoiler off, have a look at the wiring just to check if there's anything wrong. Worst case scenario, we're going to take a feed from that brake light, run all the way up there, all the way through here, just to get it powered on because it's due an MOT in 10 days. So our first port of call is I've taken these two wee corners off, these wee plastic trims. There's a couple of wee 10mm bolts in here and here, and the same at the other side. It takes the spoiler off. But I think when you look at this, it's nice and round, and that's flat, it's really flat there. So I think there's a potential broken wire in here. So we're going to try and identify the wire, which goes up through here into the spoiler, powers that light, and hopefully find a wee break in here and repair that wire. So that's the plan today. So I'm going to get that spoiler off, 4 bolts, a couple of connectors, and we'll see what it looks like. So we've got the spoiler off. Here's a couple of things you need to take off, which is a washer fluid hose. There's a wee cable in here, a couple of cables just to disconnect on that side, and the same over at that side. But let's just go over to that side. Yeah, so this is the cable that feeds the brake light. It looks to me as if somebody's already been in here and had a look at that. So that looks like 2 black cables. I don't know whether one of them's actually brown or not. So my plan is just to test that to see if we're actually getting power when the brake light's pressed. But yeah, definitely somebody's been in here. But that's how you get that off. There are a couple of cables. Just unplug these, lift these wee tabs up, and pull them back. It looks like a seal in there. See, look, sealant stuff. And I'll go and have a wee look at the actual spoiler. So that's the same cable that powers the LED brake light. These have just came off. These look, I don't know what they are, look like wee LED drivers. I'm not 100% sure. They look a wee bit more difficult to unplug. And that's the hose for the washer and another one of these LED things. So my plan is take this off, undo these wee torch bolts, and you can literally take that out with a couple of 8mm. So I'm going to get the light out, I'm going to get that cable out, and I'm going to test it. I'm assuming that's the cable for that, so we'll test that cable anyway to eliminate problems with that. So I've opened up the wee cubby hole. So sitting behind that is this cable. And this cable runs through here to that cable there. That's the actual cable for the light. So you can undo the light by a couple of wee 8mm bolts that are in here. So what I've done with my tester is to check for continuity between that black and red cable and this cable, and it's all fine. So I'll just see if I can do that again, but I'm trying to hold the camera and do this at the same time. Right, okay, I'll get in here. In here, touch one of these, quite difficult. That's one cable. I'll touch the other cable and the other one. So that tells me that cable is fine. Other curiosity is to figure out what that is. Don't know what that is. There's two of them on each side. There's something in there. I'll try and go and have a look and see what that is. But anyway, I've proved that that cable to that cable that sits over there is fine. So that cable's not got a break in it. Just need to try and power this one to see if we can get that light to light up. Right, so I've connected the cable to the light and I'm just checking, hopefully we can see that because it's daylight. This light illuminates, so there you go, I can see it from here. So that tells me the light itself's working. Everything's working in the spoiler at the back. This cable is working fine. This cable for there is working fine. So I'm now going to go back the way, trace back, to see if I can see anything else wrong from the actual supply cable that supplies the power to here from the brake light. Right, so we're about to try and test this cable here that powers the LED light. And what I've done is I've put my pedal depressor with the ignition on to push the brake pedal. That allows to see the brake lights on, which they are working. So now I'm going to get my meter, which I don't think there's going to be any power anywhere, so I would expect 12 volts coming from that plug here. If not, I need to try and trace that wire back and try it at another point. So I'm going to get my meter on here and try that. Right, so I've pulled these wires back and all these wires are coming down, round into this loom here, and most of them down into this loom here, which I've got off, just quite tight. So just looking at this, that's that connection up there, or the plug, and there's one here, and the wire's quite tight, and as I mentioned there, that looks flat. You actually look at the seal, you can see for that cable, or that grommet for the cables, or what you call it, loom, has been pressing on that, so the actual boot has been squeezing down on this. Not so much that side, because it's got a nice clip in it, holds it into place. That one's obviously moved out of position and been squeezed. So here's the plan. I'm going to split that open. I think that's the easiest way. Then I'll get some nice new tape in there and we'll tape that back up again. Just got to watch you don't cut any cables in there, so I'm going to be very careful and just slice that so I can see the wires and have a visual examination of the wires to see if there's any that look slack or broken or pressed in. That's what I'm going to do. Right, I've managed to do that very, very gently, and here's wires. I just had a wee look a second ago. Let me get my torch on point there, and hopefully you can see that. Let's see, look, there's a broken wire. I'd be delighted if that was the one that's causing the problem, so there must be another one. Must be another one in here somewhere. I'll just go through them all. That's better. Right. There it's there. Look, there. There's a wire there. I found they two. So what I could do is I could test for continuity with that wire, with the actual plug, and with a bit of luck, that might be the very fellow. A couple of other wee ones in there that are a wee bit crushed. Not so much the bigger ones, but that one there, I don't know if you can see that as well as I can see. So if you look at that one there, hopefully the camera picks that up, it's a bit crushed as well. The rest of them look okay. Give me some time to look through these. I've got my tool up and my meter up there, and I'll test that one, and the other one, I'll find that again. A wee tiny break in it, I think it's that one there, and we might repair these 2 wires. So I'm going to test for continuity between that and the actual plug. Right, so I've got a connection to the light, LED light. I've got that connected to one side of my meter. So that's, and now to try, I haven't tested just yet, I'm desperately hoping this is the right wire. So just see. Oh yes, yes. I wonder if I just quickly joined these two together and see if the brake light worked. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? But I think I've replaced that other wire. So we've got continuity between that wire and that plug, which is a wire we found that was broke. So let me get that stripped back a wee fraction. And that, and it looks as if I maybe need to put a wee bit of wire in there because that's stretching. And the other one was that one there. Probably can't see that from my fingers, but there's two there. Yeah, I think I'll try and connect the two together. I'll try and connect them together and we'll see if I can get the brake light to work. I've got my two connectors in here going to the meter. And this is the other end of my meter. I'll find my other bit of cable. Where is it? There it's there. So if I touch that to that, I'm expecting, I'll do it over here, I'm expecting 12 volts to go through that. Excellent! So that's getting power. So then effectively that light should work. Brilliant. Fantastic. So I've just made a wee temporary connection in there to connect the two wires that were broken. So I'm going to solder them. I'll solder the other one. I'll get them wrapped and we'll fix this loom here to make it waterproof. I'm sure I've got stuff there to do that. And we will go up here and refix all these wires up here. Just try to get that out of the rain. And we'll put it back together and we'll test it, see if it works. Right, so I've cut it, I've made the two repairs, we've soldered them, quite a good job. I've checked it, it's working fine. So I'm just going to button this up, button the other one up, we'll get the brake line or the brake light on and we'll test it. But I just need to make that nice and secure and sealed there. Right, so we've got the spoiler on. Just going to try it now. We'll get the ignition on in the car and we'll put our brake depressing tool on, throttle depressing tool. That should put the brakes on. Back lights are on. Back lights are on. And yes, that LED strip on the tailgate is working, so that's wonderful. So I'm delighted with that. The only thing I'm not happy about is this cable of this wiring loom at the back here seems to be pulling out, and you can see, as I mentioned earlier, it's compressing into here, and there's actually marks up there where that's hitting that, and as the boot closes, this is pulling this out towards us. Let's try. Let me put the ignition off first. Put this off. Take that off so we know it works. And that's a bit annoying. So let's just have a look and see what's happening in there. So you can see it pushing out, hopefully. I can certainly see it. So as it's lowering down, this is coming out that way and getting caught between there. So I'm going to try put a wee grommet in there, one of these wee Christmas tree fasteners to hold into position. Hopefully I can do that. And see what I've done there. Right, that debris out there. Let's just make a new wee clip on that. Hopefully that'll hold that back. See what it looks like now. Yeah, I think it's actually alright, but I don't know if this bit's bending down enough. Certainly not as flexible as that one. There it is. Well, I think that's the best we can do. It certainly allows the light to actually work. And the car will pass its MOT, as that would have failed. So we'll try it one more time. Now that the boot's actually closed, I'm going to pray that it's working alright. Press for brake. The ones are working, the ones are working, and that one's working. Yeah, nice and bright. So it is working. And I think that's it for this video, guys. I appreciate you watching it with us. If you've got a problem with your Range Rover Sport and this light doesn't work, you can always check and see if that's being compressed in there. But I'll end this video here, and if you enjoyed that video, please press like and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers for now.